Hi, I'm Derek Johnson with Tatango.com, and today I'm going to be showing you how to set up a double opt-in for a text message marketing campaign using the Tatango software. So first off, I've created this campaign. This is what you can see on the screen. And I'm going to set a keyword, which a keyword is usually a word or a phrase that is texted to a short code. A short code is a 5 to 6 digit phone number, and that will start the opt-in process for a consumer. The consumer then has to finish the opt-in process for the business to be able to send messages to that consumer. So as I said, I'm going to start by setting a keyword. And I'm not going to use the single opt-in, I'm going to use the double opt-in. And as you can see here, it's going to ask me for the keyword. And because this is just a demo campaign, I'm going to use the keyword test 910. And when a consumer text the word test 910 to the short code, the software is going to ask for additional information. And it's going to ask for either a zip code, an email address, a first name, Y or yes, that's a response, or birthday or birth date. You can also collect additional custom information if you have custom fields set in your campaign. So for this campaign, I'm going to be doing a double opt-in. And while I could collect a zip code or email address, or first name from a consumer, for this campaign, I just want to make sure they reply Y or yes to consent to the terms and conditions of the text messaging campaign. So what I've done here is I've actually pre-composed some messages that I'm going to copy and paste into here. So this is the request for information for the double opt-in. And essentially it's CTIA and TCPA compliant. It says, Acme Retail, that's the business name. Reply yes for recurring auto-dialed SMS / MMS marketing messages, no purchase required, message and data rates may apply, and then terms apply, and you would put your link there for your terms and conditions. So as you can see here, it says reply yes. So what I'm looking for the consumer, what the software is looking for, is for the consumer to reply Y or yes. When they do that, they're going to receive the opt-in message. And I pre-composed an opt-in message down here. And I'm going to put the second time opt-in message. This is if someone opts in, opts out, and then opts back in again. There are some certain situations where that would be maybe a little different message, or it'd be something like, hey, welcome back. But in this case, we're just going to keep it simple and keep it the same. So this would complete the double opt-in. A consumer would text the word test 910 to the short code. They would receive this message back in return. Then the consumer would text back Y or yes to essentially consent to the terms and conditions of the campaign. And then if they reply Y or yes, our system at Tatango will confirm that, and then we'll send them an opt-in message. And once we've sent the opt-in message, then they're subscribed to the campaign. Now, at any time, they can unsubscribe by replying stop, but until they do that, they are subscribed to the campaign. Now, as you can see down here, there's some other stuff. And essentially what this is what happens if the consumer, instead of replying Y or yes, they reply with something other than Y or yes. So I've pre-composed some language here for this. And essentially what this is response not understood. Reply yes, and again, it goes through all the terms and conditions. So if a consumer texts the word test 910, they get this message, and maybe they reply with their email address, or they reply no, then they will get the fail message. And again, in the fail message, it's reminding them to reply yes. So if they reply yes from this failed message, they're going to get the opt-in message and they're going to be opted in. Now, at the very, very bottom here, there's a no response, and this is optional. So I'm going to select follow up with reminder. And essentially what this does is if the consumer gets this message by texting in, and they don't respond with anything, they don't respond Y or yes or even an invalid response, I'm going to set a no response. And essentially, this is saying to Tatango that if they don't respond with anything, please follow up and remind them to reply Y or yes. I usually like 1 or 2 hours as a follow-up, and I have a pre-composed message for that as well. And essentially, this pre-composed message is no response received, reply yes, and it essentially goes through the terms and conditions again. So this is how to set up a double opt-in, and this is the most simple version, which is reply Y or yes. And again, as we looked, you can collect other information during this process. If you want to go a little more advanced, you can also set up multiple requests for information during the opt-in process. Now remember, they have to go through the entire process to be opted in. So if I wanted to add an additional request for information, all I'd have to do is click this collect more data. And as you can see here, it's created a brand new request for information. So what I could do is I could say, request for information, the first one is reply yes for recurring messages. And then this one, I could say, you're almost done. Please reply with your email address to complete this application, or something along those lines. Now, instead of zip code down here, I'd switch this to email address. And what's great about the Tatango system is there's actually a fail and retry and no response for each request for information. So for this one, I would say something along the lines of, sorry, that's not a valid email address. Please reply with your email address. Now, if I go up here and I click on this request for information, this is the Y or yes, where if somebody texts in something other than Y or yes, I want to say reply yes. Where down here, because I'm collecting the email address, I want to remind them to reply with their email address. And this would be the same for a no response message. This would be specific to this request for information. So this one would be, we haven't received your email address. Please reply with your email address now. Now, when they do reply with their email address, first they're going to get this, reply yes. They reply yes. Then it's going to say, you're almost done. Please reply with their email address. Then when they reply with their email address, then they're going to get the opt-in message. And again, the opt-in message essentially says to the consumer, thank you, and you've been confirmed that you've been opted in. So, and again, you could make this as complex as you want. You can add as many requests for informations. Usually at Tatango, we like to keep it pretty simple for an opt-in. So usually that's a reply Y or yes. Maybe there'll be some instances where they'll collect additional information, maybe on top of Y or yes. But for the majority of campaigns, it's a simple reply Y or yes. So that's how to set up a double opt-in for a text message marketing campaign using Tatango.com.